keeping the wire going. And I realized there was too many ohms spread out, so it didn't have a lot of pull, or yeah, a lot of pull at all. So I decided to go individually, and that's when I realized these are more acting like a PMH. Now, I like to imagine right now that Ed's very proud. You start adding copper to his wheel again. This is what Ed's wheel would have looked like back in the day. Coffee. Cheers to Ed. Alright, so I gotta get in there. I gotta cut the wire. Alright, bam. Sometimes it gets tricky on the other way of getting that wire out because it's the start wire or whatever it may be. Alright, so now we got a fresh start. Here we are over here. We got, this is obviously the end. This is the start. Yeah, this will definitely help me. When I go to wire this, because it, I don't know, I'm ADD. Any of you guys ADD? So when I look at all these wires at one time, it fucking sizzles my brain. It's like taking a computer and just freaking hitting it with everything it's got. I just sizzle. So I gotta, with being ADD, I gotta do everything in my head in like departments or compartments, I could call them too. But each compartment, you know, I'll get to it when I can do it proportionally. It's crazy. Any of you guys out there are ADD? That's something that I recognized with myself. Wonder if anybody else, well, I'm sure anybody else could have the same thing they're dealing with. All right, bam. Had a little knot in it, so it was hard to pull up. Okay, it's the start. That's obviously a start. So if you guys ever try to buy these magnets out there, they're really hard to get. A lot of the auto sales place that sells the vintage old parts, they don't want to give up these magnets for enthusiasts like us that's going to take them and do different purpose with them other than rebuilding our own Model T Ford. So, and then there's a couple out there that don't care, but I found more out there that won't sell them to you because they ask you for a core, so they want the old one so they can charge them up. So pretty much, they'll charge you a core charge, and the core charge is what they want to pay for the frickin' magnets. So if they want to pay you $30 for 16 magnets, they're getting 16 magnets free for $30 and selling them for like 200 and something. So watch what you do when you go buying them. Be smart about it. I don't know what you would do. You need them, you need them, you know what I mean? But I guess there wouldn't be too many of these across the pond over there. I keep forgetting that the Model T Ford was made here, but I guess they were doing shipping back in the day. And that's the start. So yeah, if you guys across the pond or over there in Europe or wherever you may be, uh, let me know about some of the Model T Ford places over there. If you have them, if you don't have them. Guess you could always order over here and have them shipped. They are heavy little suckers though. So they bring the cost up in shipping. There, so we're getting to the area where I did them already. This is a whole lot of wiring. In the beginning, I didn't want to do this route. That's why I was trying to loop them all together. I could have overcome that. I could have used thicker wire, like 10 gauge magnetic wire. Put about 10 turns on here. This thing would be like Superman strength. But what I didn't want to deal with for those who do that, go that route, you'll have to deal with heat problems, with the wire heating up, because you're basically creating a dead short with no resistance. So when that happens, it'll bring up other issues that you wouldn't have to deal with from like what I did. Sit there and do all the numbers based on what the wire can handle and go from that route, which a long time ago when getting into this, I wasn't about the numbers. And truthfully, as much as I want to think it wasn't, it is about the numbers. Just either you know them or you don't know them. And that's where you get yourself, I wouldn't say trouble, but I would definitely say get yourself where you're kind of wasting your time if you don't know certain basics of what you're doing. But for you guys out there who don't have the background, just do a lot of reading. That's my advice. Read. The more you read, the more you'll be familiarized with different processes and things. And at that point, you can save yourself some time, keep yourself from getting electrocuted. And that's the most important thing, is safety. All you guys out there, when you get into dealing with different transformers and stuff, AC, DC, just, geez, man. All it takes is one stupid move and you're gonna get yourself hurt. So here we go. Wow. 20 minutes into this and let's see what happened to my handle. Get in my belly. So, like Ed had a sleeve over his handle. Handle went on here. I guess what we'll do now is I'll get my butt to work, I guess, and now it's time to take this and figure out where it's going to. How am I bringing power in this wheel? I keep thinking slip ring. It did have the hook hanging here. What could be hanging from a hook? I do have this bolt here. I don't know if you can see that. And this right here is going to be where that round, half round moon thing goes, with the keeper key sticking out. And damn if I know how. I mean, this center hub is connected to the center shaft, which is connected to the whole block. These bolts here on the top are connected to the flywheel underneath. So that's a connection to this ring here, connection to this ring. Then this ring is isolated from touching the top of the magnets. And so is this ring, and the other bottom ring isolated from touching the magnets. So, obviously Ed had his wheel on the ground, so I'm going to assume that the whole block is grounded. That's probably how he was able to turn the handle, and when he turned the handle, it kicked the wheel on, and the wheel wanted to pull itself, say, to the pipe, and as long as it pulled itself to the pipe, it provided a turn portion to whatever apparatus you have on the outside. I like to work out somewhere. We take a coil, specially wound, and have it desulfating some old batteries for starters. I like to clean up some old batteries by desulfating them, hitting them with a solid DC high voltage. So in order to do that, it won't be the volts that come from this to another coil, because that won't be enough. So it's going to have to be something Model T-ish, to where we would step up the voltage in a car, a Model T Ford car, to go to the spark plug, so you create that high voltage. So that would be by using a car coil. So we could take this guy, my old 12 volt car coil. I went to the automotive store, bought this like $28, and I just picked a car because they can't give you a part without knowing what they're going to reach for. So I picked something that I knew that was a powerhouse. Was like a 1972 Chevy Chevelle 454. So pretty much this guy's got a big ass something. It needs the damn. So I think this is like 60 or 80,000 volts it makes. So we'll get this in the system coming off maybe a PMH, and that'll step up the volts, and then we'll go from the step up volt to a spark gap, which would be like a spark plug, but and then we'll start to work on desulfating some old car batteries I got that I kept, that I knew that didn't work. You can do two things to bring back a car battery. You can drop it subtly on the ground to break off the buildup, or you can hit them with some high voltage, and just be careful. I mean, they're batteries, and they do go rogue. They do go rogue. So be careful, wear glasses at least. So yeah, so excited. So just finding out where to hook the wires up. I know I'm okay with hooking up the wires together, but at the very end, there's going to be a hot, too hot, there'll be a negative and a hot that these need to go to. And obviously it can't be on the outside because the wheel will be turning. So it's got to be built within itself. This is where it gets difficult. All right, you guys. Have a good day.